Good morning, and welcome to Clay Kaserne, the home of Headquarters United States Army Europe and Africa. On behalf of the Commanding General of the United States Army Europe and Africa, General Darrell Williams, welcome to the 56th Artillery Command Change of Command ceremony. At this time, we would like to recognize our distinguished guests that are here with us today. Mrs. Maranian, Mrs. Gainey, General Williams and Command Sergeant Major Inman, Lieutenant General Kolashevsky, Lieutenant General Agudo, Lieutenant General Rolling, Major General Maranian, Major General Andresiak, Major General Wickman, Major General Van Wagenen, Major General Rank, Brigadier General Carpenter, Brigadier General Lambert, Brigadier General Barnett, Brigadier General Gainey, Brigadier General de l'Estoile, Brigadier General Principe, Brigadier General Schertle, Mr. Marcus, and Mr. McAloon. Taking part in today's ceremony are General Darrell Williams, the Commanding General of U.S. Army Europe and Africa, Major General Stephen J. Maranian, outgoing Commanding General of 56th Artillery Command, Brigadier General Andrew C. Gainey, incoming Commanding General, 56th Artillery Command, and Command Sergeant Major Darrell E. Walls, Command Sergeant Major, 56th Artillery Command. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is Colonel Seth Knazevich, Chief of Staff, 56th Artillery Command. Units arrayed on the field participating in the ceremony, as you view them from left to right, are the U.S. Army Europe and Africa Band, Headquarters and Headquarters Battery, 56th Artillery Command, the 19th Battlefield Coordination Detachment, the 2nd Multi-Domain Task Force, composed of the Headquarters and Headquarters Company, 2nd Multi-Domain Effects Battalion, and the 228th Brigade Support Company. Centered on the field is the 56th Artillery Command Color Guard under the direction of Command Sergeant Major Darrell E. Walls. The Salute Battery from the 529th Military Police Company is led by First Lieutenant David Wilson and Sergeant First Class Andrew Detweiler. At this time, Staff Sergeant Brigitte Madori, Secretary of the Sergeant Morales Club, is presenting a bouquet of red flowers to Mrs. Cynthia Maranian on behalf of Major General Maranian for her support and dedication to the command and their families. Staff Sergeant Caleb Skibby, Treasurer of the Sergeant Morales Club, is now presenting a bouquet of yellow flowers to Mrs. Sophie Gainey on behalf of Brigadier General Gainey in appreciation of her continued support. With these flowers, we recognize that great units are more than the soldiers that make them up, but are strengthened by our family support. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the invocation given by Chaplain Bradley Bruce.
I invite you to join me in prayer. Great and almighty God, I entreat your presence during this historic change of command for the 56th Artillery today. I thank you for this season in which Major General Maranian and Miss Maranian by his side have led, shaped, and inspired and empowered this command to orchestrate fires and effects for U.S. Army Europe and Africa. Thank you, Lord, for Major General Maranian's wisdom, decades of experience, passion, and care for this team of teams. We have truly been blessed to serve under his leadership that has profoundly impacted not only this community, but the field artillery, the Army, DOD, many governments, and our allies forever. Lord, bless and keep he and Miss Cynthia as they depart and continue to influence the world around them wherever they go. God, I know that you've also brought another great warrior and leader to carry this formation even further. I praise you, God, for Brigadier General Gainey and his wife, Miss Sophia Gainey, and the family who are here for such a time as this, bringing experience and expertise and a heart to serve this nation. Grant them your wisdom, peace, and discernment in the days ahead. And as we cross the next phase line, bless our team, Lord. Protect us, sharpen our minds, fit the cannons for battle, strike fear into our enemies as the king of the battle advances. Give us your insurmountable power and strength and relentless spirit, and keep us ever ready. In your mighty name, O God. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Bugle calls have a marked place in military history. They have been used for hundreds of years in armies throughout the world to signal, alert, and inform soldiers and units. Bugle calls will be used in today's ceremony in place of verbal commands. Your attention is invited to the line of troops while the adjutant will prepare the soldiers of the 56th Artillery Command for review. The adjutant for today's ceremony is the G1, First Lieutenant Michael Brem, who will initiate the ceremony with sound attention.
Sound attention!
The command sound adjutant's call is used by the United States Army to indicate that the adjutant, the officer responsible for accounting for soldiers and forming the unit, is about to form the command. It was first used by the Army in 1874 and advises subordinate commanders to prepare their troops for formation and follow on commands.
Sound adjutant's call!
The commander of troops will now receive the formation from the adjutant. The 56th Artillery Command staff consists of Lieutenant Colonel Michael Blake, G2, Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Fuller, G3, Major Forrest Curidan, G4, and Major Kevin Gertz, Deputy G6.
Sound present on!
The adjutant has concluded the report and is assuming his position with the staff.
Sound order on!
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the rendering of honors to General Darrell A. Williams. General Williams defers honors to Major General Maranian in recognition of his successful time as Commanding General of the 56th Artillery Command.
Sound present on! Sound order arms and parade west!
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, First Lieutenant Wilson of the 529th Military Police Company Salute Battery presents Major General Maranian the shell of the last round of salute as a memento of the change of command ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, The official party will now take the field for the inspection of troops. This form of inspection dates back to the time of Alexander the Great and provides commanders the opportunity to see their troops and assess their fitness. The 56th Artillery Command has a long and distinguished history of service to the nation, particularly in Europe during World War II and the Cold War, when it had the unique mission as a participant in the Army's first nuclear strike force with missiles on constant alert. The command was initially constituted as the 56th Coast Artillery Brigade in September 1942, and in May 1943 became Headquarters and Headquarters Battery 56th Anti-Aircraft Artillery Brigade. During World War II, HHB saw combat in Belgium and received 2 Belgian forages for action at Antwerp and was cited for the defense of Antwerp Harbor. The unit participated in the Northern France, Central Europe, and Rhineland campaign during World War II. In 1945, the unit was inactivated at Camp Shanks, New York. In 1951, at the beginning of the Cold War, the unit was reactivated at Camp Edwards, Massachusetts, as part of the Eastern Army Anti-Aircraft Command for defense of the East Coast of the United States. The unit was later transferred to Fort Devens, Massachusetts, Fort Totten, New York, and elsewhere before being inactivated in 1961. The 56th Artillery Group was reactivated at Schwäbisch Gmünd, West Germany, in April 1963. Its primary mission was to prepare for the deployment of the new weapon system, the Pershing I nuclear missile. In 1965, the unit assumed the critical role of quick reaction force and was required to maintain a portion of each subordinate unit at the highest level of combat readiness. The unit was redesignated the 56th Artillery Brigade in 1965 and the 56th Field Artillery Brigade in 1972. In November 1983, with the Soviets fully invested in the SS-20, the U.S. Army began fielding the Pershing II, with all 3 firing battalions completely operational 2 years later. The unit received the Superior Unit Award Streamer Embroidered Europe 1983 to 1986 for its highly successful Pershing II fielding. The signing of the Intermediate Nuclear Forces Treaty in 1987, the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, and the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991 marked the end of the Cold War and resulted in the inactivation of the 56th Field Artillery Command on 30 June 1991. In October 2021, the 56th Artillery Command was reactivated as the U.S. Army's first Theater Fires Command to plan and coordinate the employment of multi-domain, lethal and non-lethal fires and effects in support of U.S. Army Europe and Africa, or a Command Joint Force Land Component Command. The 56th Artillery Command and its 2 subordinate organizations, the 2nd Multi-Domain Task Force and the 19th Battlefield Coordination Detachment, improved readiness and multinational interoperability by integrating joint and multinational fires and effects in theater operations and numerous operational and strategic level exercises. In 2022, while building operational capacity, the 56th Artillery Command provided fire subject matter expertise during crisis action planning for Russia's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine and supported Security Assistance Group Ukraine. In July 2022 and again in February 2023, the 56th Artillery Command planned and led Exercise Dynamic Front, NATO's premier fires interoperability exercise. Now seeing a movement known as Colors Center March. This activity stems from early Roman days when the leaders laid down their weapons and shields and came forward to their emperor. By doing so, the leaders signified to the emperor that the officers of their command were loyal to him. In early American cavalry tradition, it was used to give troops special instructions prior to going into battle. The commander of troops will retrieve the national colors of the Federal Republic of Germany and the United States of America. He will march them forward to render honors to both nations. For more than 2 centuries, the Stars and Stripes has been the banner under which Americans have lived, fought, and died. More than a symbol, the flag is the embodiment of our government, people, ideals, and values. All military units serving in this host country display the national flag of Germany next to the Stars and Stripes. Together, the 2 flags show the commitment and partnership of these 2 nations. Thus, as the flags are presented to the reviewing officer, respect is paid to both nations.
Sir, the colors are present. Sound, present, arm. Detachment, present, huh.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and join us for the playing of the national anthems of the Federal Republic of Germany and the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Detachment, order, up. Sound, order arms, and parade west.
The very soul of a military unit is symbolized in the colors under which it fights, for they record the glories of the past, stand guardian over its present destiny, and ensure inspiration for its future. From the earliest times, warriors have used a banner or other symbol to identify units and to serve as a rallying point for their troops. The position of the unit on the battlefield and the location of its command were revealed by the location of its banner in battle. The color party marched at the front of the formation. The color party bore the brunt of the battle and often suffered heavy casualties. If the commander fell, another would rally to the colors and assume the position of unit leadership. Today, Command Sergeant Major Walls will present the colors symbolizing the duty and responsibilities of command to the outgoing Commanding General, Major General Maranian. Major General Maranian will relinquish the colors to General Williams, symbolizing the passing of the command of 56th Artillery Command, never leaving the command without officer leadership. General Williams will pass the colors to the new Commanding General of the 56th Artillery Command, Brigadier General Gainey. Brigadier General Gainey will then return the colors to Command Sergeant Major Walls for safekeeping. By authority of AR 600-20, paragraph 2-5 Echo, the undersigned assumes command of the 56th Artillery Command, effective 11 July 2023. Signed, Brigadier General Andrew C. Gainey, commanding.
He knows to come here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Commanding General of the United States Army, Europe and Africa, General Darrell A. Williams. Sir, come to this side.
All right. All right. Good morning, everybody. Guten Morgen. Everybody good? Sergeant Major, the troops look great today. Distinguished guests, I know I got a lot here. Mark, good to see you, and all the general officers and all the great teammates here and friends of the Maranian family in Gainey. Hey, look, band, you sound great as always. Take the rest of the day off after this, okay? There we go. You sound good. Salute battery is always great. Hey, Sergeant Major, thanks for all the great work that all the troopers have been doing this week. You've been keeping me up in the morning, late at night, practicing. Get out of my front yard, though, here pretty soon, all right? Hey, let's give all these troopers a round of applause here, huh? It's a real privilege to be here this morning to recognize and thank Major General Maranian for his awesome leadership at the helm of 56th Artillery Command. Thank you also to Cynthia. Thank you for your service, for your dedicated support to Steve, support which has enabled his very honorable and long service and leadership. How about a round of applause for Cynthia? It's clear from the awesome attendance we have here today just how highly you all regard Steve, and I share that high regard. As I'm sure you all know, in 2021, Steve was appointed as the first Commanding General of the newly reactivated 56th Artillery Command. What you may not know is that he literally wrote the book. His War College research project was a concept paper developing the requirement for a theater fires command. And then the Army gave him the opportunity to transform his concept into a functioning command. Finally, we have proof of the existence of talent management in our Army. But establishing a new unit is hard. It takes patience, it takes dedication, and it takes tenacity. Nothing is a going concern. Everything needs to be built from the ground up. The corollary of that is that you get to stamp your mark on every part of the organization. 56th Artillery Command certainly bears Steve's mark. It's a mark of excellence, a command which is setting the mark for the Army, leading the Army in our #1 modernization priority, long-range precision fires, and in our transformational warfighting concept, multi-domain operations. And not just leading our Army, Major General Maranian's efforts have also reminded our allies and our partners that, as Clausewitz said, artillery intensifies firepower. It is the most destructive of the arms. Where it is absent, the total power of the Army is significantly weakened. The war in Ukraine has reminded us of the importance of the King of Battle, and Steve's initiatives have been crucial in helping our allies and partners to shape their recapitalization, to enhance interoperability, to deliver multinational long-range surface-to-surface fires, to get us closer to the point when the alliance is able to successfully share data and utilize common or compatible weapon systems, to get us closer to the point when we can link any sensor with the best shooter regardless of country, to get us closer to the point when we can achieve overmatch through unprecedented lethality. Through the annual International Fires Warfighting Forum in Europe, 56th Artillery Command has established a forum to bring senior leaders from across the alliance together. Fires leaders and leaders who understand the importance of fires. Together they are making real progress towards achieving Major General Maranian's vision of a cohesive European fires architecture. That's why I asked Steve to speak at this past Land Forces Commanders from across NATO last November to highlight the importance of theater fires in this new security environment, to promote interoperability efforts, to provide his advice straight into the top levels of decision making. He also addressed the NATO Corps commanders in May. With my Allied Land Command hat on, I've been encouraging the Corps to establish joint fires and effect cells. Steve and his team have drawn up recommendations for how these cells should be established and standardized, how they should be trained to ensure they are capable of coordinating, synchronizing, and integrating lethal and non-lethal fires in all domains, how they should be furnished with assured C2 networks that are interoperable with their Joint Force Command and adjacent corps. Practical advice, which will ensure that we are structured to deliver lethal overmatch at the higher tactical level, while retaining flexibility for all JFCs to tailor their approach to the specific operational requirements within their region. And under Steve's leadership, 56th Artillery Command has been putting this into practice in the field. This year's exercise Dynamic Front in March involves 1,700 soldiers across 2 corps headquarters and 3 field artillery brigades, with over 70 weapon systems, including 5 ships across Germany, Denmark, and Romania, all coordinated live using Mission Partner Environment and Artillery Systems Cooperation Activities, or ASCA, demonstrating our ability to deploy and employ, to communicate and to coordinate at scale and at range. Coming up in August, we have Exercise Arcane Thunder. That's the first multi-domain task force focused exercise in this theater. It will give 2nd MDTF an excellent live opportunity to improve their sensor-to-shooter capabilities while experimenting alongside our allies and our partners. As you've heard, it's difficult to overstate Steve's impact right across this theater. His engagement and leadership have been critical to the success of a command whose scope and span ranges from tactical employment to strategic concepts. He leaves an awesome legacy. Stronger fires formations across Europe. He'll probably still be fielding calls from NATO Army chiefs asking for his advice even after today. Stronger fires formations across Europe and a first-class theater fires command ready to deter aggression, increase NATO interoperability, and synchronize multi-domain effects. Steve, thank you for all you have done. We wish you the very best in the future, and of course, we'll be back here on Friday to formally mark your retirement from the Army. How about a round of applause for Steve Maranian? That's a tough act to follow, but the Army always finds a way, so we're very fortunate that in Steve's relief, Brigadier General Gainey is a proven leader with over 30 years of experience in both fires and maneuver. He's commanded at every echelon from platoon to brigade, including on operations in Iraq, and he deployed to Afghanistan with the 82nd. He's no stranger to Europe, having spent 6 years in Germany. He started his career as an artillery platoon leader in the 3rd ID here in Germany. He's just come from being the Deputy Commanding General Operations for the 3rd French Division, and before that, he was a Deputy Commanding General Maneuver for the Big Red One in both Fort Riley and forward here in Poland. So as lessons from the war in Ukraine, NATO planning, and Army modernization priorities all focus our minds on the integration of both maneuver, with agile and responsive fires at the theater level, he's the perfect man for the job. Andy, I have no doubt that you're ready for the challenges we face, and I look forward to facing them with you. A very warm welcome to the United States Army Europe and Africa team to you, and equally warm welcome to Germany for your family, to Sophie, and I know Princess and Chanel will be joining you once you have the house settled here. It's great to help. Let me know if you need any help with moving boxes out, okay? It's great to have you all here on the team. And to everyone here, thank you for your continued support of the great 56th Artillery Command and United States Army Europe and Africa, stronger together.
Ladies and gentlemen, Major General Stephen J. Maranian. Okay, rest. I'll take 5 seconds to shake everything out.
You know, it seems like it was only a minute ago that we were standing on this field reactivating the 56th and unfurling these colors that you see in front of you. Colors that had been cased since the end of the Cold War. But a lot has happened in the 21 months since Cynthia and I arrived back in Germany. We spent so much of our lives here in Deutschland that it seems like we were coming home. But this time has been different. The base is the same, the city is the same, many of the people are even the same, just with a little more gray hair or maybe a little bit more rank on them or wearing civvies. But the world has changed. It changed last February. Europe changed. Life here for all of us here in Europe and Africa has changed. What was old became new again, as we once again stand together with our NATO allies in opposition to a bully's aggression. Never in my 35 years in the Army and 17 years of assignments in Europe have I ever seen the unity of purpose and recognition of the importance of resourcing our collective defense that I have seen during this tour. Never have I seen the sense of urgency to link arms and prepare to fight, as was the case during the Cold War. And never have I been prouder of the soldiers who wear the cloth of our nation as they stand up for what is right and for what is good. The 56th Artillery Command and the 2nd Multi-Domain Task Force have grown from a concept into tangible combat power in just 21 months. The soldiers from these formations have literally built the proverbial airplane while in flight. They've worked crazy hours, endured home station deployments, applied ingenuity and creativity to solve wicked problems, and have forged a reputation in our Army, the Joint Force, and around NATO for the capabilities that we bring to the battlefield. The 19th Battlefield Coordination Detachment, that's been around in Europe for a while, is plowing new ground, developing real air-ground integration with our alliance's formations. The future of USAG and for NATO is brighter because of you. I'll say it again. I couldn't be prouder of all of you on the field and of the rest of our team you represent. Through AR2's Dynamic Fronts, International Fires Warfighting Forums, conferences of European armies, Landcom Component Commanders conferences, countless symposiums, conferences, as well as bilateral and multilateral engagements and training. You are making a difference. Our NATO allies know it, and rest assured, our adversary knows it, and they worry about it. If ever there was a formation assigned to this theater that should make Russia concerned, it is you. You and the power that you're able to bring to bear on the battlefield if called upon to defend the alliance. Thank you for all you do, and thank you to your families as well for all that they sacrifice so that you can do your jobs. Let's have a round of applause for these soldiers on the field. General Williams, thank you to you and to General Cavoli for allowing me to command this great team of warriors standing on the field today. It has been an honor to serve our 4th tour together. There are countless peers and mentors whose support and counsel are a large part of why I'm standing here today. And on behalf of them, I'd like to publicly say thank you to a few of them. Lieutenant Generals retired Halverson, Campbell, Lundy, and Major Generals retired Longo, Boozer, and McDonald, and your brides for all that you've invested in Cynthia and I over the decades. An unsere deutsche Freunde, wir haben die letzten 2 Jahre hier in Wiesbaden sehr genossen. Deutschland wird immer einen besonderes Platz in unseren Herzen haben. Dankeschön. Command Sergeant Major Walls, to you and to all of the NCOs who keep our team running, thank you for your professionalism, dedication, and willingness to go the extra mile to do what it takes to get the job done. No one is more professional than the NCOs of the 56th. To the officers, warrant officers of the command, you've answered the call. We've asked a lot of you, and you've delivered. The Army will ask more of you, and I have no doubt in my mind that the rapidity and vigor with which you got this team to full operational capability bodes well for predicting your future successes. Special thanks to John Byram, Kevin Jackson, and Pat Moffett, commanders of our major subordinate commands, to Seth Knazevich and Pete Sittenauer, who kept us on the right azimuth of fire as Chief of Staff, to Jeff Fuller, Jason Carter, and Dan Greavy, who served as Pershing 3 during my time, and the rotating crew of Deputy Fire Support Coordinators, many of whom I just mentioned, but also Will Ivins. Thank you. And a fond thank you to the front office staff of SGS's XOs and Aides, Rob, Mike, Matt, Jason, Jen, Brody, and of course Justin, who have been truly spectacular in keeping me doing the right thing at the right time, in the right place, and usually in the right uniform. I'm so appreciative of all of you and a bit jealous of the Army journeys that you have ahead of you. And please, join me in a round of applause for the band, the Color Guard, and the Salute Battery, who have added such richness to today's ceremonies. Andy and Sophie, welcome to the best assignment you've ever had. I couldn't have handpicked a better officer than you to take the reins and, frankly, to take the 56 to the next level. You're coming in with tremendous experience, knowledge, and with fresh eyes. I may have gotten the 56 up from crawling to walking, but I'm confident they'll be doing Ironman triathlons on your watch. Thanks to all that traveled to attend today's ceremony and to my family back home, who've gotten up in the middle of the night, some of them, to be present with us. You all mean the world to us, and we're so excited to be heading back to the East Coast soon to be closer to you. A special thanks to my parents, Jack and Alma Maranian, our siblings, Ara Maranian, Jen Cody, and Angela Sabota, and their spouses for all the love and support that you've given us over the years, as well as to Cynthia's parents, Clethy and Henry Hall, and her sister Karen Matthews, who are no longer with us, but who are no doubt watching over us here today. Finally, Cynthia, there are no words that I can use to express the love and appreciation that I have for you. You've given us so much, to us, to my career, to me personally, but also to the units in which I've served, to the communities all over the world where we've lived. You've been my best friend, travel companion, and partner, in addition to being my bride for 30 years and a day. Happy anniversary, my love. I'm so excited for what the next chapter has in hold for us in the future. So thanks to all for attending. Pershing strong, stronger together. Be all you can be. Pershing 6 signing off the net.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Commanding General of the 56th Artillery Command, Brigadier General Andrew C. Gainey.
General Williams, Command Sergeant Major Inman, Lieutenant General Gudo, Lieutenant General Kolashevsky, Lieutenant General Mrs. Rowling, fellow general officers, distinguished guests, allies and partners, soldiers and families of the 56th Artillery Command. Thank you for being here today on a very special day for me and my family. It really is good to be back in Wiesbaden. It's a wonderful community. It's a very special place for my family, and it was the cornerstone in my development as an officer. It's also special because in the coming year, one of my daughters will attend and graduate the Wiesbaden High School right across the street from the very hospital which she was born 17 years ago. So to tell you that being here is surreal would be an understatement. We're pretty fired up today. Words cannot express how humbled and how honored I am to lead the 56th Artillery Command. A formation filled with incredibly talented leaders, a formation filled with incredibly talented soldiers, tremendous skill sets that give us the significant capability to decisively win in any battle space at any time. I'm looking forward to building upon the legacy of this extraordinary unit in front of me. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's give them a round of applause again. General Williams, sir, thank you for your leadership. I'm eternally grateful for the trust and confidence you placed in me during these unprecedented times. Sophie and I are blessed to have you and your bride Erin as our command team. I'm well aware of the great role and responsibility to serve as both your fist cord and your commander, and I look forward to working with you. I look forward to working with the entire USAG staff to continue to build the momentum of this great organization. I also want to say a collective thank you to many leaders and mentors both here and back home in the States. There are just too many to single out, but I've had an unbelievable support along the way. If it were not for the mentorship I received throughout my career, I would not be here today. So I want to thank each and every one of you for your enduring support, your leadership, your guidance, for giving me and my family throughout my entire career. And personally, thank all those that I didn't mention, all those that are around that I want to say thank you again. A personal thank you to Major General Maranian and his lovely bride, Cynthia. Sir, your accomplishments with 56th Artillery Command have been phenomenal in achieving multiple strategic goals for our Army. I want to thank you, Command Sergeant Major Walls, and the staff for a very professional and successful transition. It speaks volumes of the quality in leaders and soldiers in the 56th Artillery Command. As I told you before, I cannot be more honored to walk in your footsteps by leading this prestigious formation. Thank you. To our European allies and partners, we cannot do this without your tremendous support. And I know many of you traveled far from many other countries to be here today, and I thank you. These are truly historic times. These are challenging times. In the world we live in today, it's increasingly complex and volatile. More so now than ever before. And I look forward to working with each of you, and I am committed to building upon this great relationship that has been well established by Major General Maranian. To the Wiesbaden community, to the garrison, you have the distinct reputation of the hardest working Army civilians, phenomenal community leaders who provide world-class support. I am very excited to be here and look forward to working with each and every one of you. To my best friend, my battle buddy, my Molly pitcher, and my wife Sophie, and our beautiful girls who are currently back in the States, thank you for your continued love and support. You are my strength, you are my inspiration, you are the air that I breathe, and I am a better man because of you. I would not be remiss if I did not thank those who made today's ceremony an exceptional event for everyone, the band, the salute battery, protocol, and many, many others who have assisted in this great event. Thank you. Finally, to the leaders and the families of the 56th Artillery Command, both here and abroad, thank you for your service and all that you do to defend our nation. May God bless each and every one of you and your families for having the courage and the commitment to stand up and answer our nation's call. Pershing strong, stronger together. Thank you.
Sound, officers, and colors.
This last procedure, and the most traditional part of the entire ceremony, is the pass in review. From the earliest times, the pass in review has demonstrated the glory and strength of the assembled troops. Passing before you now are the proud soldiers of the 56th Artillery Command. The commander of troops is Colonel Seth Knazevich. He is followed by the 56th Artillery Command staff officers. Approaching the reviewing stand is U.S. Army Europe and Africa's marching band under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Scott McKenzie and Drum Major Sergeant First Class Kenneth Edra. Approaching the reviewing stand is Headquarters and Headquarters Battery, 56th Artillery Command, commanded by Captain Andrew Farrell and First Sergeant Paul Berry. Approaching the reviewing stand is the 19th Battlefield Coordination Detachment, commanded by Colonel Kevin Jackson and Sergeant Major Adam Nin. Please stand and render honors to the national colors. Passing before you are the national colors of the Federal Republic of Germany and the United States of America, the Army colors and the 56th Artillery Command colors. The color guard is led by the 56th Artillery Command, Command Sergeant Major Darrell Walls. Approaching the reviewing stand is 2nd Multi-Domain Task Force, commanded by Colonel Patrick Moffitt and Command Sergeant Major Michael Carlin. Headquarters and Headquarters Company, 2nd Multi-Domain Task Force, commanded by Captain Ken Akali and First Sergeant Jose Penaloza. The 2nd Multi-Domain Effects Battalion, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Aaron Ritzema and Command Sergeant Major Danny Hurst. At the head of the formation are the commanders and first sergeants, with Headquarters and Headquarters Company, commanded by Captain Amy Carlson, Sergeant First Class Matthew Pope. The Signal Company, commanded by Major Ricky Tesoro and First Sergeant Joshua Kennan. The Military Intelligence Company, commanded by Captain William Otto and First Sergeant Jacob Segler. The Space Company, commanded by Major Andrew Lawrence and Sergeant First Class Robert Motts. And the Cyber and Electromagnetic Activities Company, commanded by Major Stephen Temrick and Sergeant First Class Gregory Simpson. Approaching the reviewing stand is the 228th Brigade Support Company, commanded by Captain Matthew Giersdorf and Sergeant First Class Jose Escalera. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and join us in the singing of the Army song. The words are found in the back of the program. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the change of command ceremony.